Hey, you guys, it is Chantel McKenzie here, coming in with a couple of things I'm super excited about. I entitled this 2021 um, because I just have to believe that, we're going to continue to win this year. And for those of you that feel like last year, yo, Sean, you don't know how many losses I took. I took plenty L's. I mean, we all did. Well, we had a pandemic, we had an election, we had racial injustice, we had so many things going on that impacted our lives significantly. Social distancing, venues closing. I mean, it's just so many things that impacted business owners, that impacted employees, that impacted us as individuals, that impacted our families. Hey, Lex, our kids being home doing virtual school. So the list goes on and on and on. But despite all of that, as I'm doing these Power Hour coaching sessions, which I have extended through January for just $99 an hour because I'm just having so much fun. People's energy is up through the roof this time of year, and it's contagious. And so, that being said, most people that I'm talking to, really, especially small business owners, figured out how to pivot, figured out how to remix whatever it was that they were doing, and made a lot of them, the ones that were willing to change and to figure out and take chances to do something new, ended up making more money than they had made historically. And even those with day jobs that really upped their game on their moonlight situation did the same. So let's talk about some brand builder tips. I had posted one last night where I was talking about, what do people get when they get you? It's like, what do people get when they get you? Your brand is who you are. Your messaging is, and then your marketing is your messaging. Just trying to pull up these notes because I want to hit the rest of this. Okay. Y'all would be surprised how many notes are in my phone. So I am of a certain age. I'll be 44 next month, and I have come to terms with the fact that I am not going to remember everything. And so I keep a notebook. I keep my notes. I keep so many things around me, because if I have a powerful thought or hear a powerful quote, or if there's something going on, I'm jotting it down and I hold on to my journals. I just sent someone a quote of someone who's very important in my life that I wrote, that they said in 2012, that blessed me today. And so a lot of times I'll post books that I'm rereading, and it's like, what happens, it's almost like rewatching a movie that really impacted you. As you grow older and as you evolve, different parts will stand up for you. And as you grow your business, the same is true. And so don't just throw something to the side and look at it once and think it didn't impact you, because who you were in 2018, hopefully it's not who you are in 2021. So anyway, last night I spoke, who are you? What do people say when you're not in the room? You need to cultivate the narrative. What does that mean? That means that you need to be constantly, to cultivate land is to prepare it for harvest. It is to fertilize it. It's to turn over the soil. It's to do everything that's necessary for it to do, for that land to grow the biggest, largest yield that it possibly can. And the same thing is true for your brand. You want to be cultivating the narrative. How do you do that? You do that by, first of all, being your authentic self, living out who you are, and constantly, I Google myself once a month. You're not Googling yourself? Why not? And if you Google yourself and there's nothing to be said about you, or you don't appreciate what's said to you, you can cultivate that narrative by making sure that your Facebook page stays active, your LinkedIn page stays active, your Twitter stays active, because those things have priority in the Google matrix and in the SEO optimization. You could start a blog, you could do different things, because, some people have mistakes in their past. If you don't want the first thing to show up about you to be your penitentiary record, for example. I mean, but if it is and you standing on it, do your thing. And so cultivate the narrative, cultivate the narrative as much as you can. You can't control everything people say about you when you're not in the room. And, like Diddy said, more money, more problems. And so as you continue to evolve and succeed, people will make up things, people will lie, they will try to slander, but the truth will always outlive a lie. So just keep moving. I said, I posted the other day, let whoever think whatever, just keep getting better. So that's the first thing. So your product or service should be an innovative answer to a problem. No one knew they needed or wanted a car until they were invented. Same with social media, same with the smartphone, same with Clubhouse. Everybody is like, they out here like, you got a Clubhouse invitation. They out here like Dave Chappelle, like, you got any more of that? I mean, they gonna make a meme in a minute. Y'all got any more of the Clubhouse invitations? And the thing is, I've dropped in on a few of them. I did actually my first little mini talk today just to play with it. Some of it is straight foolery. I'm just keep it real with you. But some of it is introspective. The interesting thing to me is it's mostly people of color that are on it that I'm seeing. And I don't know if they have some kind of algorithm that just assumes, because I'm a person of color, that I only want to see people of color, or if I'm not searching for the right people. So more to come on that, because I haven't deep dived into it the way I want to. And we'll do a whole live about Clubhouse. But let me play with it some more. But definitely, it's interesting. I don't know if it'll stay. It could be like Periscope. It could be, here's the thing about Mark Zuckerberg and his team. Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook and Instagram. When they see something picking up, either they buy it, gobble it up, or they do something to outdo it and outpace it. I mean, even these most recent Reels drop, and I've mentioned that before on Instagram, is to compete with TikTok. Which really, when I think about who uses TikTok, when I think about my children, they're not using Instagram or Facebook like that. They're not even allowed to be on Facebook yet, my young kids. And my older children are not interested. They think that's where old people live, like me. So, and to them, it's all about the stories. It's all about the Snapchat. It's all about the up and down, which is why the stories started. Stories were to compete with Snapchat. And so it's just about introducing those features and functionalities to our age group. And so it'll be interesting to see what they do about this Clubhouse situation, or not what they do, but how they position themselves to compete with it. Because, people think of competition as a bad word, but in big business, they always watching the competition. McDonald's and Burger King be watching one another. McDonald's outpace and outsell Burger King every year, but it don't mean they're not watching one another. It doesn't think like all of us are replaceable to a certain extent. All of us can lose market share. And when you are seriously in business, every dollar counts. And so you don't want to lose any market share. And so you're paying attention to what's happening with your competition, because you want to make sure that you not only maintain, but sustain, that you not only survive, but you thrive. Be yourself. To go back to this 2021, how you gonna win? You got to be yourself. The first step in growing a personal brand is answering the most important question: what are you going to be an expert in? So many of us are like, I'm the jack of all trades. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I could do this, and that. And that's great. But which one have you become an expert in? Like, my business has several core competencies, but, we make sure that we have, I'm trying, if y'all saw my blog yesterday, I'm trying not to use the word perfected, but we make sure that we have done diligence to make sure that we are experts in a certain area before we go to the next place. And so you need to become really good at whatever it is you do before you move on to the next thing. So many people don't give it time to become really good at what it is they're doing. And I would push you further, because good is the enemy of great. So do something, become great at it. Building a personal brand is a privilege. I take the Power Network, and those of you listening right now and following and sharing and tune in, that's a privilege. And so the only way to earn that social proof is through executing. So day in and day out, you need to be in the trenches mastering your craft. How are you mastering your craft? I'm always reading. I'm always studying. I'm always learning. I'm always paying attention. And I'm not just paying attention to those in my market, but I'm paying attention to the global market. I'm paying attention to those who are doing it at the absolute best level. And I may not have their money and I may not have their resources, but the great thing is social media is the great equalizer. And the internet is the great equalizer. And so, no, I don't have a studio like Oprah had, but guess what? I'm sitting here, my ring light in front of me. I created this wall in my house, and I can go live, and I can be, and I can do my thing, and I can share knowledge just like anyone else. I can start a podcast. I can, I can do I can go on YouTube. There, you have so many free avenues to start building. And we have so much social proof that it can work. I mean, you think about Tabitha Brown, vegan. She was in her car. She tasted that sandwich. She was her complete, authentic self. Didn't expect it to blow. And now she done bought a new house. She rich. She had 1 million TikTok followers. She done super sent with the crayon case. I just had the opportunity to meet with her when I was in New Orleans, and a million products in Black Friday last year, and just started with making funny videos and building that awareness that eventually turned into engagement. Because the thing is if people know, like, and trust you, then not whatever, but when you come out with being an expert in a certain field, if they already know, like, and trust you, then their ears are already open to what it is that you're saying. So you need to create as much content as possible. Value added noise to this noisy social media world we live in. Honest storytelling is everything. That's how people get to know, like, and trust you. Not off the stuff you made up. They don't want to meet your representative. We live in a world of reality TV. So if they out here giving us their real lives, because TV is edited, but as much as possible, then why you out here faking? Like, don't fake the funk. You ain't got to lie. You ain't got to lie. Add value. Document your personal journey, the growth process, and lessons learned along the way from maintaining your business hustle. And no matter where you are in your journey, always be true to yourself. Don't fake it till you make it. I'm not a fake it till you make it kind of person. I'm a face it till you make it. So face whatever it is that's in front of you, and then deal with it. And then the personal brands that last are the ones that are authentic and real. That's a quote from Gary Vaynerchuk. So after you do all that, you got to show up and back it up. So you can do all of that. You can get all these followers, all these people on Clubhouse, they got all these followers, but are they going to show up and back it up? Because what happens is people create monuments to themselves. So they'll create a page and they'll post up a couple of things, and then they won't be consistent. They'll fall off the face of the earth. And I always say, well, so you just created a monument to yourself and you just want to hold your name. You could have not published that page if you weren't going to do anything on it. And so you have to, your personal brand is built from what people think about you, is what they say about you. So you start building a positive one by consistently showing up and treating people right. Take control of your character. My mom and I were just having this conversation because don't get it twisted. People be trying to test your girl. They be trying to, once you go set out to do something great, the universe will send some fools to test you. But the quote they say, don't argue with a fool because it's hard to tell who's who. And so I made a commitment to myself when I launched PowHER that I was going to live, breathe, and be power in every sense of the word, that I was going to be a champion for women, that I was going to not be a backbiter, that I was not going to be this and that. Now, that doesn't mean that people don't make up stories and this and that, but I know that I wake up every day focused on being the best me that I can be. And I wake up every day trying to figure out how I can support other women, and not just figuring out, but actually doing it. And so that is like taking control of your character. You lose the right. There's some foolish, funny, hilarious, language inappropriate, politically incorrect things that I want to post on social media all the time. But I have to take control of my character, because how can I coach someone to be them best selves, or to figure out their business strategy, or to figure their life out and to work things through? And I can, but it's hard to believe for people when they see you acting up. So choose who you're going to be. And since you can choose to be anything you want to be on social media, be yourself. And if that's yourself and you're not building a brand, but guess what? You never know what you want to do in the future. So I'm always thinking about this. Anybody that's around me, my favorite line is, I'm not doing that. You're not going to have no video to sell me on TMZ in the future when I'm a multimillionaire, and not doing it, not going to do it, not going to do it. So a personal brand is equally important to a company brand, especially when standing out in your field. You're always building your brand because it's a declarative affirmation of who you are and what you love. It speaks volumes about your uniqueness and strengths before you walk in the room. Be specific and intentional about what your brand stands for and attract the right opportunities. Know your value. So this is how you do it. Know your value. This isn't based on who you work for, your job title. It's what you bring to the table. It's what people get when they get you. So many people struggle with setting prices. So many people would struggle with going after business, starting the business, promoting the business, because they don't know their value for themselves. They haven't sat down and spent time with self to figure out their value and their worth. And so it's like, you got to know your value, you have to know your worth, and then you have to believe in it. So it's one thing to know, it's another thing to believe. And so after you know it and you figured it out, then you got to believe in it. Be specific. What can you do that others can't? Who are you? How can you help others? What problem do you solve? And what solutions are you the answer for? And a lot of people don't spend the time to answer those questions. Share your expertise across several platforms. We got LinkedIn, we got Clubhouse now, we got Twitter, we got Instagram, we got Facebook, we got YouTube. Like, I'm doing this from StreamYard right now because StreamYard allows me, the package I have on StreamYard right now allows me to hit 3 pages at once. But there's another one I could upgrade that I used to have that would allow me to hit 5 pages at once. And so you just have to know, like, and not be afraid. Don't be afraid to promote your accomplishments, services, and credentials. So many people are like, I don't want to be bragging. I don't want to be looking like, I'm feeling myself. Well, if you don't toot your horn, who will? Like, toot, toot. Like, come on now. Like, y'all know I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. And if you listen to his lyrics, he like, I know we not talking summers, right? I know we not talking numbers, right? Like, I love it. Like, we already gave the summer some. It's the winter's turn. Like, so like, I'm a hip hop baby. You got to understand that. So you just got to know. It's a lot. It's a bit overwhelming. So here's how you eat an elephant, Tamika. You eat it one bite at a time. It is a lot. It is a bit overwhelming, but I will say that if you stop and you breathe and prioritize, and that's where the planning comes in, which is why I've been offering these power hours for $99. So if you stop and you strategically plan and prioritize, and you and I have spent some time together, then and so here's the thing: we need short-term goals to deal with the weight and the promise of the long-term goals that are coming. And so many of us are looking to do these big grandiose things without taking the steps that it takes to get there. Like, there's no elevator to success. You got to take the steps. And so social media marketing is a work. That's why I make a living doing it. Promoting yourself is a work, being consistent is a work, but it's like the great Eric Thomas says, like, when you want to be successful, as bad as you want to breathe, you'll be successful. And a lot of people don't know the full story around that quote. So a wise man took another person out into the ocean, and he was like, what do I have to do to be successful? And the wise man kept dunking his head under the water, and he picked up and he's like, you know how, if you think you're about to drown, and then he did it again, and he was like, and then he did it again, and he's like, and then he's like, when you want to be successful, as bad as you wanted to breathe, when I dunked your head under that water, then you'll be successful. So I'll tell you this, the Power Network turns 5 this month. We a big kid now. We're not even a toddler. We can tie our shoes. We can read. I always analogize things like the growth and development of a child. And so that being said, like, it doesn't require as much attention as it did when it was 1 or 2 or a newborn. Your newborn, you don't feed it, change the diaper. The baby, like, you going to jail and the baby might die. And so it doesn't require that. But even as a 5-year-old, I would never leave. If I still had a 5-year-old, I'm not leaving you at home by yourself to take care of yourself. I'm not letting you cook. I'm not, so there's certain things that come with certain ages. And so, you just have to know that. You have to know that. And so do what you say. You got to do what you say you're going to do. So after you take control of your character, do what you say. Deliver value and build affinity. The first, this is a quote from someone else. The first personal branding lesson I learned is simple but not easy. It's a psychological adjustment that not everyone will like your brand. So don't set that as your goal. You are not for everybody, and that is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. I'm not for everybody. That's perfectly fine. That's why it's important to figure out who your target audience is and make sure that you're cultivating a narrative and content that's interesting for them. My favorite one, be strategic. Be strategic. There has to be a strategy behind everything you do. Social media is the new intimacy for building trusted relationships. So, because when you think about that, it is the new intimacy for building trusted relationships. So how are you making people feel like they are intimately connected to you in this virtual space? And 2020 should have really, really, really cause, today I had a coaching call with someone this morning that I've had many coaching calls with. And I was like, I'll send you the Zoom link. And then I was like, no, well, I'll just call you because we don't want to look at each other. We are so conditioned now to jump on the Zooms, to jump on the Teams, to jump on Skype because of 2020. And it's like, yo, and some stuff it could just be a phone call. Some stuff honestly could just be an email. So remember that. Engage colleagues, friends, and demonstrate expertise. Deal with the low-hanging fruit, the people in your life. Think about, I had a client last night I was coaching, and we were talking about, the people, the personal, the things that her personal circle leans on her for. And it's like, that's usually a glimpse into where people see your value and what they would be willing to pay you for. And, they're not going to like it when all of a sudden, nobody enjoyed it when all of a sudden it was like, Sean, would you read this? Would you do that? And it was like, oh, it sounds like you want a power hour, or it sounds like you want a coaching session, because it was like, we're so conditioned to give our knowledge away, but our knowledge didn't come free, and our time is worth money. And for everything you say yes to, you say no to something else. So it is what it is. Okay. So those were the lessons for today. And I think that those are lessons that are going to help any and everyone that takes heed of them win in 2021. But now here comes the fun part. So you guys know that we launch, well, you may not know if this is your first time tuning in, but my firm launches brands and small business owners all the time. We do this through various means. We can come in and build your website, make your logo, take your pictures, etc. If you are not an entrepreneur, we do headshots. I'm about to go meet with the client right now who has a very successful business, but his image is not what he would like it to be for his business to evolve to the next level. And so we're going to talk about what that looks like in 2021 for him and his business so he can continue to grow. And so one of the things that's most important are optics. I mean, I just said social media is the new intimacy in building trusted relationships. So that means that your optics should be pretty good, right? And so how do you start with great optics? Great pictures. And so what the team and I have decided to do, is I have decided to sponsor 3 photo shoots. 3 photo shoots. And I'm talking about makeup, if you're a woman, outfit changes, and you're going to get 4 high res. It could be headshots, full body if you got a product. And so we're going to do 3. Here are the submission criteria. First of all, you have to have already had a coaching session with me or a strategic planning session. Doesn't matter when, what year. Or you have to schedule a power hour, because we got to have a strategy before we walk in and just take these pictures. And power hour is only $99. For those that don't know, you can cash out power, POWHER, or you can pay pal.me/power network. Or like I said, if you were a past person who has already had a power hour or did the full-blown strategic planning package, or we've launched your brand in the past and it's time to update your photos, you're eligible. Basically, you have to be a true member engaged with the Power Network. And I will tell you, the fact that you could end up with a photo shoot valued at $600 with a professional makeup artist, and for the $99 power hour, like, you winning all the way around. And then you have to, that's the first criteria. The second criteria is I need an inbox telling me how you think these pictures will impact your 2021 WON. And so I am going to take these submissions through this Sunday. This Sunday is January 10th. And I will tell you this, one of the 3 will also be chosen to get an additional hour with me of strategy. So those are all the things I'm throwing in there. It's Christmas is over, but we still feel like giving because that's what we do. So if you let me just retract the criteria. First, you have to already have had scheduled a power hour, or you have to schedule a power hour before you submit. And it's $99 for the power hour. Or you have to have been a past client who's already had one or had a full-blown strategic planning session. And then you have to, Gabrielle, I know you like to hop a flight. You know, my photographer is in Milwaukee, but I would love to direct your shoot. That's the other piece too. You don't just get the shoot. You don't just get the professional makeup artistry, but you get me, the brand strategist, on site at the studio directing the shoot, and you get the conversation beforehand of like, what are you going to wear? What is it going to look like? Because a lot of people just take pictures for the sake of taking pictures, and they be like, what I'm going to do with these pictures? And it's like, the pictures are not even good. You know, so many people that you do outdoor shoots, you do this, you do that. What you going to do with those? I just be family pictures is cool, but what you going to do? So yeah. So if you have been engaged with PowHER Network in some kind of way, shape, form, you took class, something, you qualify to submit. So next thing, before Sunday, I need an inbox or an email. You can email Chantel@powhernetwork.org telling me what these pictures will do for your brand or business in 2021. WON. And so that's it. 3 with 4 high resolution edits. It can be headshots, full body. You could bring your product in, like we going all out. It's gonna be dope. You look, all you gotta do is come in with your hair done, and everything else is gonna be there for you. I'm gonna direct the shoot, and yeah, that's what we're doing. So get on it. Let's do it. Do me a favor, share the power hour situation. If you've had strategic planning with me and it's impacted you in any way, then please share with someone else. I appreciate all of those that share. Reputation and referral are big in the service industry. Service industry, e-commerce has blown up by 30%. Service industry is expected to grow by billions this year. And I provide a service, and I'm not ever going to pretend like I don't. And I do this part on purpose because one of the things I'm always fussing at my clients about is it's cool to have cool captions and it's cool to have cool pictures. But if there's no call to action, if you're not literally, so I spent 20 years as a sales executive, if you're not literally asking for the sale, that may be the one thing stopping someone from doing business with you because you didn't ask for it. I remember when I got my first client and people were upset because a lot of people had thought they were courting this particular person who's very well known in this market. And he said to them, Sean's the first person who sat down with a contract, a plan, a this, a that. She approached me as a businesswoman, even though she could have approached me as a friend. And that is the difference. And so get it done. All right, y'all. I got to get to my meeting. Peace, love, power. Can't wait to read your submissions. Can't wait to announce the 3. I'll announce the 3 by Monday. As long as I have them, if y'all still sending them at 1 in the morning on Sunday, I don't know. Let's say the cutoff is Sunday at 5 p.m. because I got to have time to read them all. All right. So there you go. All right, you guys. Share this. Peace, love, power. I'm out.